With every sunrise, the world becomes more uncertain. In Greece, as coronavirus spreads, the already troubled economy falters further.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
In this Athens neighborhood, the virus barely registers on the list of troubles the people face. Dozens of Afghan refugees have come to this square in the Greek capital from Moria, Europe's largest refugee camp on the island of Lesbos. They are homeless. They have no running water, no basic sanitation, and no idea what will come next. I asked them what they're waiting for.
I don't know. Some people said maybe 1 week next, 10 day next, come and move us from camp or from another place. But I don't know what is their program.
Habib, along with his pregnant wife and 3-year-old son, spent 10 months in Moria. They were given 30 days to leave the camp after their asylum claims were accepted. Their cash assistance has been cut. The police in Athens routinely clears the area, moving the refugees to overcrowded camps.
برای ما میگه که شما اینجا که آمدین فقط به خاطر که در پارک اینجا زندگی میکنین ممنوع است باید برین در کمپا. کمپا مثلا راجستر نمیکنن ما را. فقط یک سرویس بهداشتی داره و حمام دیگه هیچی نداره اونجا برای ما.
Habib and many others have come back to the square. They've been here now for more than 10 days.
The Ilios camp not have tree, all the sun. Maybe our children or our wife have problem in the sun, but they are all have one tree. We can move under the tree.
Mothers come to tell us about their children's health problems. They ask us what they can do in Athens. In the scorching summer heat, mothers try to protect their babies. No one here speaks Greek.
رقمی که ما پول نداریم کجا بریم؟ روزگار نمیجا یکی میای مثلا غذا میتونیم اینجا با می رقمی تیر که داریم. دیگه چاره نداریم چیکار باید بکنیم؟ دولت 3.5 ماه میشه حقوقا رو قطع کرده، 4 ماه میشه پولی هم نیست. بیشتر مردم هم می رقم مشکلات دارن. نه که تنها ما داشته باشیم، بله. همینایی که اینجا میبینن همشون همین مشکلات دارن. نه وضعیت ما خبر نداشتیم کی رقم است. ما فقط میدانستیم برای ما در موریا گفته شده که شما باید از اینجا برین کارهایتان در آتن پیش ببرین، مثلا برای آیدیتان، برای پاسپورتتان.
In November 2019, the government passed a law reducing the housing and cash assistance to recognized refugees from 6 months to 30 days. The law came into effect on June 1st. It affects more than 11,000 refugees living in camps and state-funded apartments. Several have been receiving assistance for more than a year. The Ministry of Migration says the refugees are informed that state support will end when they receive refugee status.
These people were, in a sense, institutionalized. So they were pampered from the system. They received cash for their every month needs. They had a place to stay. They were even given food in some instances, and they had a lot of people around them to take care about their basic needs. This is not the model we want to follow. We want a model where you can stand on your feet as soon as you get a decision. Of course, as I told you, now we are in a transitional phase. We will have backflows. We will have people that are not able to face this new reality quick enough. That is why we had some strange, let's say, or bad incidents like people without a place to stay, like in Victoria Square. But this is again a consequence of the transitional stuff.
Since 2015, the massive flows of asylum seekers via Turkey created overcrowded, squalid camps on the Greek islands. It is there that asylum seekers have to wait for months for their cases to be processed. Local communities have been demanding that the camps be disbanded or reduced in size. According to the Ministry of Migration, since June, about 8,000 refugees have left the Greek islands.
Όταν σου ζητάνε να φύγεις από την Μόρια, φυσικά και θα φύγεις. Τρέχοντας. Θα φύγεις από τη Μόρια. Γιατί πιθανολογείς ότι αποκλείται να είναι χειρότερα από εδώ. Για μερικές μέρες στη Βικτόρια μπορεί να μην είναι χειρότερα από τη Μόρια. Αλλά δεν είναι μερικές μέρες, διότι μετά οι περισσότεροι πάνε σε άλλο κάμπ. Από το οποίο επίσης πρέπει να φύγουν, διότι πάλι δεν είναι δικαιούχοι στέγασης σε ένα κάμπ, σε οποιοδήποτε. Στον Ελαιώνα, στο Σχιστό, στο Καραμαγκά, στη Θήβα, οπουδήποτε και να πάμε, δεν είναι δικαιούχοι στέγασης. Άρα είναι παράτυπα εκεί, ας το πούμε έτσι. Τι σημαίνει αυτό? Απλά κάνουμε μια ανακύκλωση. Γιατί δεν υπάρχει το επόμενο βήμα. Δεν υπάρχει σχέδιο για την επόμενη μέρα.
Rana, her husband, and 5 children have been living in the state-funded apartment for over 2 years. Under the new law, as they are recognized refugees, they have been asked to leave. They refuse. Their cash assistance was cut in June. Both Rana and her husband are jobless.
عايشين يعني عيشة زفت، يعني كما أقول لك نعتبر نحن عايشين إحنا كلاجئين، يعني اللاجئين كلها يستنون اللاجئين إنه يستنوا البازار يصير مشان يروحوا يلقطوا خضرة مشان يطعموا أولادهم، وأنا منهم يعني أستنى البازار يصير مشان أروح وأجيب لأولادي أكل. غير هيك ما عندنا أي معينة ولا أي شيء ولا أي منظمة ساعدتنا ولا أي إنسان جاب لنا شيء.
They have been in Greece for 3 years, and only their oldest son speaks some Greek he learned in school. Rana and her husband say they are unable to live here without more support.
يعني وأنا أطلب من الوزارة من الحكومة اليونانية ومنكم أنتم يعني تساعدوني بسبيل إنه تطلع أوراقي وأطلع من هون. أنا ما عندي أي مستقبل هون، يعني ما أعرف كيف أعيش، كيف أندمج معهم.
The new refugee legislation exposes a bigger issue in Greece, that of integration. In theory, recognized refugees have almost the same rights as Greek citizens. Yet in practice, they lack the support and tools, like speaking the Greek language, to access social services and the job market.
Αυτό θα είχε μία λογική και θα ίσχυε εφόσον κατά τη διάρκεια της παραμονής των ανθρώπων στο εστία υπήρχε μία διαδικασία, ας πούμε, προενταξιακή, ενταξιακή. Δηλαδή, μία ενδυνάμωση, μία παροχή βασικών γνώσεων προσαρμογής στη ζωή της πόλης, στη χώρα που είσαι, ποιες είναι οι ευκαιρίες που έχεις, οι υποχρεώσεις, τα δικαιώματα κτλ. Περνάμε στις 30 μέρες χωρίς τίποτα. Δηλαδή, περνάμε για λόγους σοκ, όπως λέμε. Υπάρχει μια θεωρία του σοκ. Ότι αν ταρακουνείς το σύστημα, θα κινητοποιηθούν οι άνθρωποι που έχουν πέσει σε μια. Που έχουν πέσει θύματα ιδρυματοποίησης. Ισχύει, αλλά δεν δουλεύει.
There is only one integration program for recognized refugees in Greece, the first ever in the country, called Ilios, the Greek word for sun. It started last year and is funded by the European Union. Its purpose is to help refugees learn Greek, navigate local bureaucracy, find a job and a home. When they manage to rent an apartment, they qualify for a financial contribution from the program. Most refugees we spoke to say those requirements are unrealistic for people who have no money, no jobs, and don't speak the language. The government says the program works for those who really want to use it.
We have wonderful examples of people who try to integrate starting up from Moria, and people who will never integrate. We have people who were approached and were helped in order to integrate, and people who were never approached, and that's our mistake. That's why I'm telling you that we are trying to get out of this crisis mode into a more normality mode. In this normality mode, everyone should have the information needed. Everyone should be approached that you can actually learn Greek if you need, or English, or I don't know what. But under the pressure of the flows that we had in the past, this was actually impossible.
Finding a job to support his 4 children and wife has been the priority for Abubakr from Syria, but he's found nothing other than occasional work for 10 euros a day. They became recognized refugees 8 months ago. Under the new law, they were asked to leave their state-funded apartment, since, he says, he lives in fear.
شوف شو خايف.
We ask him why.
إذا اجوا قالوا لي اطلع، أنا ما لقيت بيت، وين بدي أروح معي 4 أولاد؟
Abubakr says he wants more than anything to stand on his own 2 feet.
ولك بدي اشتغل، أنا بدي اشتغل. بعدين قطعوا المساعدة النقدية. إيه وبعدين أنا مدخرات والله العظيم ما معي. عم دق لأصدقائنا، هذا إلي معه من سابقا دين قديم كذا خلص وبعدين.
Greece is still trying to emerge from a devastating 10-year economic crisis. It has one of the highest unemployment rates in Europe. It is hard for Greeks to find work. For refugees, it is almost impossible. Many want to leave for another European country like Germany, where there are more employment opportunities. The UN Refugee Agency has long warned about the risks involved when refugees exit the asylum system and are expected to transition to self-reliance too fast.
You should not remove the assistance too early, because then it exposes people to the threat of poverty, to the threat of homelessness. These things have to be resolved, otherwise the problem may intensify, especially as Greece continues to recognize high numbers of refugees.
The Ministry of Migration insists that refugees have plenty of time to transition from the asylum system to becoming recognized refugees and stands by the new law.
The reality is that right now there are dozens of people, mostly families, at Victoria Square. There's more people coming every day, and there's many people who are staying in state-funded apartments who have received eviction note. They must leave, and they tell me they're completely hopeless because they don't have a job, they don't have money, and they will have to leave those apartments. So what are the government's plans for these 2 situations right now?
These people should refer themselves to Ilios. They should ask for their assistance, and they will find the assistance. We also ask the local communities of different citizens, let's say the Afghani community, the Syrian community, of people who are here, refugees for a long period of time, also to support them. We have to understand that, as I told you, in a transitional time, you will have these small, let's say, gaps in the system to serve everyone, because there is a backlog coming, and maybe the capacity of Ilios program is not high enough, although there are still 300 flats there to be rented. But I have to tell you something that I told you before, and it is really true in this situation. This is not hoteliering, and this is not a customer-based system. It is a system that provides the basic, and it needs you also to work for it. And there are people that are not trying that hard because they were accustomed to us providing everything. This should change. We have the patience to wait, and we will support this change.
As refugees wait in Victoria Square, more arrive from the island camps. I ask these Afghan Zindari if they have a place to stay. They say no. All they know about Athens, they tell me, is Victoria Square. And so they try to find their way to the train station that will take them there, as one part of their difficult journey in Greece ends and another, equally difficult, begins.